from buyer beware to seller beware. I think it kind of sums it up. It's not simply between institutions and individuals, it's also between institutions themselves. I mean, I'm sure many of us would recollect a few years back when corporates, erudite, educated CFOs, who were savvy about financial transactions, were advised, so-called advised, rightly or wrongly, about derivative transactions, and when they went out of the money, corporations sank, reputations were hurt, money was lost. Now, whether it was greed, whether it was fear, whether it was completely an asymmetry of knowledge, it's probably a combination of all of this. So clearly, you have buyer beware or seller beware concept of financial or transaction appropriateness being discussed not in esoteric financial circles like derivative transactions, but also in simple deposits and simple loan products made at a retail household level. Maybe what we could do is, we could have some quick comments from the chairman himself, Mr. Nair and Mr. Somashekharan, really on looking at how has regulation in India evolved. It's no more than about 2 decades old today. It's rapidly evolved. It's come to a situation now where from a plethora of regulators we are talking of condensing them to maybe at best 1 or 2. I don't know what quite the scenario is, but you're talking of condensing them, and but within this scenario as it emerges, what is important to address is financial literacy. Again, Justice Saab made this reference to it, that financial literacy is the basis on which consumer protection and rights and legal rights are built. But financial literacy being so low, in fact, Justice Sri Krishna was arguing just before this panel that even the most erudite of persons, are not financially savvy at all, and clearly the distinction, because they become technical. So clearly understanding in a country where people are not literate, not to talk of financial literacy, how does consumer beware to seller beware work? For example, we have this case, when SEBI, for example, put out risk factors, tentatively answered. So what will help here? Clearly, when you say that mutual funds should disclose what they are doing, and it should have a scheme for every investor. You look at an average mutual fund scheme today, you have a plethora of schemes, and even financial savvy investors cannot understand what one scheme does vis-a-vis another. So basically, too much of information becomes, shall we say, counterproductive. So clearly, consumer protection goes beyond, I would guess, making financial literacy, correcting this balance or asymmetry of knowledge between two counterparties, more disclosure, more explanations. So what really do we have to look at, in making fair transactions, happen? What do we have to do to ensure that innovations don't run ahead of, shall we say, regulation or benefits conferred to individual, or making the system unstable? Let's kind of kickstart with these discussions, and then we'll go with the thoughts as they come by. Mr. Nair, you might want to start.